When you hear the term border security is truly national security, I was on a flight day before yesterday, and I'm flying with some of the finest pilots in the nation, the Texas Department of Public Safety's Aircraft Division. And a call comes out over the radio, 25 miles in the United States. A family, a man, his woman, and a woman and two children. They had been kidnapped by smugglers and being held hostage against their will. And they were able to take a rock, hit one of the kidnappers over the head, splitting this jaw. I mean, I saw pictures of him. I mean, split him wide open and took off running. And as we're flying, we're hearing they are being chased by armed gunmen right now. And I watched these pilots, 2 helicopters, fly in as fast as they could, find them, come in right over them and provide protection when no one else is there with the helicopter. They apprehended all 4 gunmen, all 4 kidnappers, then found many other groups because there were so many gotaways and runners everywhere, 25 miles into the country, which, this is the story that Americans aren't seeing if you're not riding and with law enforcement. So when you hear me say that we have a crime wave coming upon us, the cartels, the alien smuggling organizations, and the Halcon network truly represent the most significant national security and public safety threat to the American people. I'm seeing it every time I come down here, and I'm watching it get worse and worse.
I'm here with Jaeson Jones. He is a former Texas DPS captain. He's also part of Border 911. What are you doing with Border 911 exactly?
Border 911 is a conglomerate of some of the nation's best experts on border security, national security, the Mexican cartels, and Tom Homan, who is the CEO of the former ICE director under President Trump, has brought in a coalition of some of the best. Sarah Carter with Fox News, myself, on the cartel side of it, Derek Maltz, former DEA Special Operations Division. Look, you don't have to sell the border. All you have to do is be able to get to the people and show it, because I don't care if you're left, right, up, or down, no one's okay with what's taking place if they just really know what it is that's happening.
Heading towards the main house. Anything else going on anywhere else?
A tectonic shift has taken place, and the data validates it. It's not a perception, it's not a feeling. If you look on the immigration side, by the way, which is just one layer to the problem, the numbers and the people coming are unprecedented. We're going to be over 3 million encounters in fiscal year 23. We've never been here before. When you look at the fentanyl seizures, over 20,000 pounds, again, we've never been here before. That's just at your border, never mind the domestic seizures. 111,355 Americans dead from fentanyl. Think of that. From fentanyl and other drugs in a 12-month period from April of 22 to April of 23, according to CDC data. Those are poisonings, most of those. So when I tell you that what we are really witnessing at the southwest border and in Mexico, which are the causation of this, that it's the largest U.S. intelligence failure since 9/11, the data validates it.
Knowing what you know, being part of Border 911, having experience with Texas DPS, intelligence, anti-terrorism, what are you doing?
The why to this is I was pissed off. I'm just going to be very frank with you. What was happening in Mexico to Mexican citizens, what was happening in Mexico to migrants from around the world crossing through, and how these cartels were feeding upon these innocent people is unprecedented. I have to tell you, I ran a lot of operations working with some of the most elite soldiers in Mexico, sending what we call real-time critical intelligence to help save lives. At some point, this will get out to the American people, but I was so taken back by it. I knew that what was happening there was coming here if we didn't fix it. And so I retired in 2016 and immediately went public, trying to warn the nation that if we didn't take action to designate these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, as somebody that had built OCDEF investigations and then built programs to go after them, that this country was going to be in real trouble because of the speed by which transnational crime moves. It's unlike domestic crimes in our country, and our system was never designed to take it on. So for me, everything is about the terrorism designation so that we can have the authorities we need to make a difference to this problem and not do the same thing we've done for 60 years and hope for a difference. Because I can tell you this, I know these cartels very, very well. They are not going to stop. They're going to have to be stopped. in order for us to fix what's taking place. This will get worse if we don't.
We're going to walk then.
Yes. Yes.
¿Por dónde que no sabe usted? ¿Por dónde es? Porque nos vamos nosotros.
Which way are we going?
Okay. Which way are we going? This way. Are there strongholds in the country because of these people?
This is a great question, because the cartels domestically have worked with our tier 1 gangs, based who have multiple regions in the state. They work very closely with smuggling organizations, etc. They did not have the network domestically for the trafficking, and they sent these young cartel operatives all over the country with these illegals so that they could establish that network. So they're given a number, and when they get to that destination, they better call, because how do they keep them in debt? They pay that person either bi-weekly or monthly, and if you don't pay, then they come make you pay. If they can't find you, remember, they still have their family in the country of origin that they can hold accountable. So they own them. They've got them.
¿No vienes con mami o con papi o con nadie?
¿Ah?
¿Vienes con tu mamá o tu papá?
Nadie. Yo venía en un grupo que venía de entrega con usted y al final me dejaron botada y venía aquí a pedir a usted.
¿Te dejaron botada aquí? ¿Te dijeron?
I got a call from a Border Patrol agent. He says, Jason, you gotta get down here, man. I said, why, what's up? He said, man, we've got wristbands on men, women, and children, he said, and they are everywhere. And I went down there within a matter of hours, and he was not kidding. What it really was a way to keep up, just as Border Patrol was having these overwhelming numbers. And how do they keep up? The cartel were in the same boat. And so what they began doing is putting wristbands on these people so that they could then put them into debt bondage, because one of the things that they did was they saw a major shift take place, and that is that with people coming in from all over the world, they can make them the gift that keeps giving. That was told to me by a lieutenant within the Gulf Cartel. From there, they get that wristband, enough information is given, and then they're passed off from one stash house to the next stash house to the next stash house, usually averaging about 1 week to 2 weeks before finally making it to the border, where then at night, Cartel de Golfo operatives push them right to Border Patrol by the hundreds. And they're told as soon as they hit U.S. soil, break that wristband, and it hits the ground. Each color represents a different smuggling organization. So you probably saw multiple band colors as well.
Yeah.
Look, most Americans think of trafficking through the realm of commercial sex. Really, it's a three-parter. You also have forced labor, and then you have the final version that I'm talking to you about now, which is debt bondage. So think of this. They are indebted to a criminal organization in a foreign country while in the United States legally. We've never been here before.
So a lot of the people that are coming in to the country via the cartels, their families are put at risk. This is modern day slavery in America. And it's for a country that has a media that's so obsessed with racism. Why are we not concerned about this? What's going on there?
I travel this country almost every week. I am speaking to audiences, I'm speaking and briefing leadership privately. I can tell you that what I have learned is that they truly don't know. They truly don't understand what we're up against. You have to remember, we don't have the investigative journalists we used to have. I think that's why guys like you now exist. On the media side, that's really part of it. On the second part of it, the federal government and the United States Homeland Security Enterprise's job to make sure that those in leadership positions are being briefed on what's taking place. I can tell you they are not. I can tell you they are not. As somebody that's briefing congressmen, as somebody that just came back from the Homeland Security Committee, full committee hearing, and briefed them all publicly. But how we could get here is stunning to me. If you're on the right, you get your intel from Fox News. If you're on the left, you get it from CNN. That's your intel collection. It's how we've gotten to 111,355 deaths from fentanyl poisonings and other drugs in a year.
Have we seen a lot of fentanyl coming through from the cartels? What have you seen just in most recent memory? What amount of people could this kill?
We didn't have a fentanyl crisis in this country until 2015. Why 2015? Because in 2015, that's where at the southwest border we saw a major arc in the overdose poisonings. And you can truly see it in the CDC data. In 2015, they see 70 pounds at our southwest border, and that was where the cartels began working with China. Prior to that, China was shipping it via mail service into our country. But what the Sinaloans did is they had already been working with China on chemical precursors for P2P manufacturing of methamphetamine when they stole that market across the country. What have you always heard? You've always heard that supply and demand, basic economics is what's causing this issue. Well, you got to create the demand.
Right.
We didn't have a fentanyl problem in this country. So what they did is they began pushing fentanyl for free all over this country. Philadelphia, I was there last year at Ground Zero with some of the finest federal law enforcement officers in the country. And they told me the story how Chapo Guzman's sons, Los Chapitos, in 2016, 2017 began giving away fentanyl for free in the heroin district and caused the second layer addiction problem in our country. What has happened with fentanyl is that in 2018, they began hiring chemists right out of university, specifically the Chapitos cells, the sons of Chapo Guzman, to change the analogs so that you can make it more deadly or stronger. They then began working with other nations around the world, specifically Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh. So you always hear from the media and government, China, China, China. That's not wrong. But again, it's not the true, complete picture of where they are today. First, they made regular fentanyl, then they created parafentanyl. Then from parafentanyl, serafentanyl. Serafentanyl is just for the folks watching out there right now. This is what you use to put down giraffes and rhinoceroses in Africa to dart them.
How much of that could kill?
Oh, just grains. I mean, you can take a couple of grains and that's enough to kill the host that takes it. And then now they mixed it with xylazine. I don't know if you've heard of that, called Frank.
They're calling that the zombie.
That's exactly
zombie
right.
drug, and it's eating the flesh off of people's bones, becoming necrotic.
Go to Philadelphia, go to the streets of Kensington and see it. It will. You're talking to a guy who's been in a lot of heroin dens in his career. What I saw in Kensington was a level of human devastation like I've never seen in my life.